Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and happy holidays. It's almost Christmas. We've got just a couple of days until the Christmas season commences. Well, the season is definitely here until Christmas commences, I should say. So today we are making homemade fudge. I got this recipe online from a friend of mine actually, and I kind of changed it and tweaked it and altered it. The kind that was on the recipe that I got was a grasshopper fudge, which I do make that as well, but this is a second one that I'm gonna make, which is dark chocolate, espresso, salted caramel, and then cookies. So what I did was I got a pack of these Great Value cookies right here. I didn't even use quite half of them. And then I went and bought a bag of the caramel bits that they sell at the store. So it is a cup of each one of those. I crushed the cookies and then just mixed in the caramel bits. So you've got 2 cups of the whatever kind of cookie or caramel or whatever it is you want to use. In the pot right here, I have a can of sweetened condensed milk, and then I have 3 cups of chocolate. So I did 2 cups of dark chocolate and then 1 cup of espresso chocolate chips. It was the first year I had seen these, and I thought, well, I'll try them. They are Nestle Toll House makes them, and they're really, really good. They really do taste like espresso. I was kind of impressed. I wasn't expecting much. So you're going to bring this to a melt over medium heat, stirring constantly. You just want to melt your chocolate wafers, whatever it is you're using, and then you're going to add half of this 2 cups to it. So we're going to go ahead and melt this down, and pretty close here to be able to mix it in. I do like to get it the whole way down, but I don't like it to cook, so I'm real careful. You can kind of still see some of my wafers in there. I definitely want to make sure that those get melted down. And I'm sorry if you can hear my puppies in the background. I just gave them new bones to keep them quiet for a couple of minutes so we could do a video. So you're going to hear them chewing on their bones. All right, and you can see the difference in the chocolate right there. We're really close here. So while this is melting, I will show you what we did. I have an 8x8 pan. This is what I always make my brownies in. It says to use foil. It sticks to the foil. I had a really bad experience with that the first time I made it. So I go ahead and just spray this with Baker's Joy. That is kind of like Pam, and you can use the Pam version, but I like this version better. It's the Baker's Joy. It has flour in it, so everything releases just a little bit better. This is what I used at my cafe and bakery when we had it. Okay, so I think we're pretty good here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in half of my mix. All right, we're gonna stir this in. All right, so I'm gonna finish stirring this, and then I will show you what it looks like once we get it in the pan. Hey guys, welcome back. So I've had the fudge here in the fridge for about 2.5 hours, and it is really good and solid. It gets a lot harder and it's heavier once it's finished. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna take that metal spatula like I showed you earlier, and you're gonna run it alongside. Now you can use a knife too, but what's the point of dirtying up 2 different things, because you're gonna need this to pry it out. So I've done 3 of the sides. I just have this last one to go, and see, you already see it's starting to wiggle a little bit and come up. So now we're going to turn it. We're going to turn it on its side, and we're going to start to pry it loose. Look how easy that came out. That looks awesome. Okay, so we've got our fudge, our big chunk of fudge right here. So now I'm going to grab a knife, and you want to make sure you get one that's large enough that's going to go almost the whole way through it. Otherwise it takes forever to cut it. Now this is very solid. It will definitely soften up. You know, it's because it's been refrigerated. Anytime you put fudge in the fridge, it's going to turn rock hard. So we're going to go ahead and slice this in rows this direction, and then we're going to turn around and slice it in rows this direction. So this is about the size chunk you're gonna end up with. I mean, you can cut it any way you want. This is super decadent, very, very sweet. Even though we use dark chocolate, the caramel added a lot of sweetness to it. And then we use the espresso chocolate chips, which I gave to my son, and he said he didn't like them. They were too espresso-y. I don't even know how that's a problem, but he wasn't a big fan of them. But I did tell him I think he'll like them in the fudge because they're mixed in with all the different chocolates and caramel. So I'm hoping it'll just add a little bit of the depth flavor-wise. Oh. All right.
As a side note, I am her son, and that is not what she said.
My son is my cameraman today. All right. So we'll go ahead and finish this up. Yeah, this one with all the chunks of the cookie and the caramel on top is a lot harder than the mint fudge that I made. So if you're making the mint fudge, if you're interested in making that one rather than this recipe, the only difference is I use milk chocolate in it, and then you use a 1/4 teaspoon of peppermint flavoring, but my daughter said it wasn't quite strong enough, so I would go ahead and almost double that if you make it. And then you can either use Oreos for your cookies, for the topping and what goes through the fudge, or you can use grasshopper cookies, whatever you have on hand. I used both. I did half and half.
Side note, in the peppermint fudge, do not include any of the caramel, this cookie, or the espresso chocolate chips.
Right. Well, you could do espresso too. That would be really good. I would like that, peppermint and espresso together. Okay, so I went ahead and sliced it down. So now what you're gonna do is you have your fudge, and it looks really, really awesome. You're just gonna go ahead and plate that really pretty for your holiday party, or you could box it up as gifts. And I can promise you this is gonna be so much more interesting to people rather than cookies. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a very happy holiday.